There is no other way but the one way. There aren't two ways, only one way. And then you, within that tomb, awake. That's the beginning of it. And then you come out of your own tomb, which is your skull. And when you come out, the story as told you in Matthew and Luke surrounds you. The story of the birth of God. And you are the God that is being born. For there's nothing but God in this world. You're being born now to a higher level of your own being. For there's only God expanding himself. And the symbolism surrounds you is that which is told you in Scripture. And then the next step on the way to the Father is a glorious step, and you think, this one, this is it. But when this happens, you know now your head is completely gone. It's an explosion. And when the whole thing explodes, and then it's quiet, and you find your son. And the son is God's son. And his name is David. And he calls you Father. And then you know who you are. Then you know the word. And David will be their prince forever. Now David died. But David said, you will not leave my soul in hell. So he raises up his son for the purpose of God. He cannot in any way, as he expands, God is made up of all of his sons, and we are the sons, and the purpose is expansion. Well, he can't expand unless we expand, and the purpose now is to give himself to this level of himself. So he's giving himself. Oh, how could he give me himself? Unless he gives me himself as Father. He is Father. To expand beyond the present level, he has to make me the Father. And then everyone becomes the same Father. Hear, O Israel, the Lord, that is, I am, the I am. Our I am is one. He's going to prove it now. He has a son, and the son is David. And I've got to become aware of actually being the father of David. Well, if David is my prince, that I am king, in that day, the Lord will be king over all the earth, and his name will be one, and the Lord one. That's the day. And the third one, the 14th chapter of Zechariah. And it's told in the most glorious manner, because when you go back to the 13th chapter of Mark, he comes out of the temple. This is not taking place in the temple. He comes out of the temple. He's in the courtyard. When he turns and looks at the building, he's on the outside of the temple now. See those great stones? And the great buildings? They'll all topple. Not one stone will be left upon another. Now it goes into the third verse of that chapter. And as he enters into the third verse, he is standing on the Mount of Olives. And across, as you're told, and opposite to the Mount of Olives, there was the temple. Now we go back to Zechariah. In Zechariah, the 14th chapter. Here, I'm standing on the Mount of Olives. The Lord is standing on the Mount of Olives. And the mount was split in two from east to west. And a great valley divided them, the two parts. And one moved northward, and the other moved southward. And then it is said, and the Lord and all the holy ones followed him. It isn't followed him. The Hebrew word is you, not him. And your footnote in the Revised Standard Version will show you The pronoun is not, as it's used in both the King James and the Revised Standard Version. It is you. All the holy ones will follow you. And then it goes on, in that day, the Lord will be king over all the earth. And then the Lord will be one, and his name one, which is I am. That's one. I am fulfilling only Scripture. Now, on that day, when the mountain is split, what mountain is split? You are split. You are standing looking at it. And your body is split from top to bottom, from the head to the base of your spine. And then you look at the base of your spine, and you see this golden, lovely, pulsing, liquid light. And you know it's yourself. It is your own wonderful Redeemer and Creator, and it is yourself. Yourself redeemed. No one else redeemed you. No one else created you. It's only God. And you fuse with it. And like this fiery serpent, flying serpent, you move up into heaven. And again, it reverberates, as you're told. And when they enter with such intensity, such force, that take it violently. And that is another stage in the way to the Father. You find him in the second stage. The first is the explosion, when you have the vibration, which is an earthquake. The second, a fantastic explosion. Then comes the third, like a fiery serpent, you go up. And then the fourth stage, which is the final stage, is when the seal of approval is upon you in the form of a dove. And then the dove descends upon you and remains upon you and smothers you with love. And there you receive the seal of approval of the work you have done. You did it. There is nothing but you. There is nothing but God in this world. So the first is what's going to take place. The second is what took place. And the third is how it took place. And I've been sent to tell you how it takes place. And to ask you to put your faith completely, not on an external Christ, not on any external God, but on the pattern. Christ is the pattern man. Christ is the way. So show me the way to the Father. I'll show you. One night when you least expect it, he will come with a sudden shockingness that takes place within you. Not on the outside, but within you. And that will seem like a little pittance compared to what's going to take place. But that's a shadow. It's a foreshadowing. Be happy that you're here. All these things are taking place because we are on the verge of the awakening. And all are going to awake. And when they awake as God. Everyone's going to awake as God. There's nothing but God. There's no room in this world for anything but God.